This game to me proves something to me that I've thought about for quite some time now. Because what happens with the Cowboys every year? They have a great regular season. They go into the playoffs, and they do absolutely nothing. They either lose in the first round or they win against an inferior team and they get blown out in the next game. So the Cowboys are cursed. The Dallas Cowboys are cursed. And I know who cursed them.
Who?
Get your popcorn ready, fellas.
Okay.
Because
Who cursed
I have a theory. Now, first, before I talk about this person, I'm going to apply context. Some numbers. Crunch them up a little bit. I did a little bit of digging today.
Okay.
So, the Cowboys, what were they before the curse and what were they after? So, the last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl was 1995. And then 1996, this was when this curse began. Now, pre-1996, the Cowboys were what the New York Yankees were for much of the 20th century. World beaters, winning Super Bowl after Super Bowl, being in the mix every year. Pre-1996, the 30-year run, they had 25 winning seasons in 30 years. Post-1996, 26-year span, you know how many winning seasons they've had? 13. Average.
Out of 30?
Out of 26.
Oh, 26.
So pretty much.
50%. Okay.
Playoff record, pre-1996, 32-19. You want to know what their playoff record is now? 5-12. Not only that, it gets better. Their average record pre-1996 was 10-4 because they had 14 games back then.
Stupid.
303, 159, and 2 pre-1996. Post-1996, 233 and 202. Average of 9-7, roughly 9-8 if you round it up. But then, who was on those teams in the 90s? Why, his name was Troy Aikman.
Okay.
Now, I think before I go into this, I think it's important to apply context. Skip Bayless.
Oh, no.
So, Skip Bayless was a reporter. Skip Bayless was a reporter in Dallas for the Dallas Herald in the 90s, for much of the 90s. He wrote multiple books about the Super Bowl, each of their 3 Super Bowls that they won. And the last book that he wrote...
I know the story. It's wild.
He wrote a book about the 1995 Cowboys, the last Super Bowl champion that they had ever won. And he made false claims about Troy Aikman being gay and Barry Switzer having growing beef within him because of the fact that Troy Aikman was gay, which, by the way, Troy Aikman is not gay. He has confirmed that. You want to know Troy Aikman's numbers before that book came out?
Have we confirmed it, though, with the boner in front of him?
I don't want to confirm that with you. So,
Carl Nassib, where you at?
So, I need to share some numbers because Troy Aikman was never the same, and the Cowboys were never the same. I shared you this book came out in 1996.
Wait, how old was Troy?
He was a little bit older. He was 30.
That's still young, though. That's not like...
He still played another 5 seasons.
Okay.
So here's the numbers. I'm going to show you the numbers pre this book coming out, which was Hell and Fire, Dallas Cowboys. Look it up. Skip Bayless, 1996. Okay.
I wonder who's going to hell.
Before this book came out, Troy Aikman's numbers, playoff numbers, you can have what you want with it. He was 10-1, 23 touchdowns, 9 picks, QBR of 108 in the playoffs. If you look at their numbers side by side, it's hard to look at quarterbacks' numbers from the 90s because it looks terrible to today's times.
Right.
So I'm not even going to bother. But you want to know what his numbers were post 1996? 33 for 43, 67 touchdowns, 57 interceptions. And his playoff record, 1-3, 2 touchdowns, 8 picks, QBR of 40. But it's not just about Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman retired in 2000. And here's a list of some of the quarterbacks that the Cowboys have lost to since then. And keep in mind that the Dallas Cowboys are the New York Yankees. So this would be like if the Yankees in the 40s lost to Red Sox, or the St. Louis Browns, or in today's times, if they lost to the Orioles. Some of the quarterbacks that they got cooked by. Jeff George. You want to know how he was playing for the Vikings in 1998? And he beat the Cowboys 34-3.
With Troy Aikman.
Jake Plummer. quarterback of the Cardinals, beat them 27-7.
Ugh.
Jake Delhomme for the Panthers, crushed them. Matt Hasselbeck of the Seahawks, crushed them. Eli Manning, and Vikings Brett Favre.
Vikings, Brett.
So the Cowboys, since Skip Bayless has joined their fan base, he released this book calling Troy Aikman gay. Troy Aikman career's never the same since.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys have not been the same since. The Cowboys went from world beaters, consistently dominating, to now, since then, they're a 500 team. They have no playoff success, and they're perpetual chokers. What can go wrong will go wrong. You've heard Stephen A.
Yeah, what can go wrong will go wrong. But I have a question. When the Cowboys were dominating, was Troy Aikman, was he the top or the bottom?
Hey, listen, that's a question for Troy Aikman. But my theory is the reason why the Cowboys have not had playoff success and the reason why the Cowboys are not world beaters anymore is because of Skip Bayless.